This right here, one last time, is the DC Defender Show. What do you guys want to talk about? Did anything happen this weekend? Anything go down? I know there's some people out there who are very excited to see just how we handled this episode. I'll tell you what happened this weekend. Ass whooping, whipped like a dog. That's what happened this weekend. No, it was an entertaining job by the Michigan offense, at least. We said on last week's show, defense, give us 2 stops. Special teams or defense, steal a possession. Do something, grab a possession away for us. And Jordan Tiama, you got to play the game of your life. All 3 of those things did happen. Those all were part of the victory. But they were part of so much more as this beatdown happened in this championship game under the arch. You know, that's what people are calling it. The ass whooping at the arch. That's what they're saying. It's what I've heard. It's catching fire everywhere. The DC Defenders, United Football League champions. I saw a few people, mostly Birmingham Ponies fans, out there salty that their boy Skip Holtz didn't get Coach of the Year, because, you know, the Birmingham staff, they just have to get everything every single year. They have to win the championship. They have to get every award, or it just is not fair. And admittedly, I think a lot of the reason that Birmingham was still in the hunt was because of Skip Holtz and the championship pedigree that team has. 5 quarterbacks, even though, you know, they say that, but they don't qualify it with, well, you went from one of the best quarterbacks in the league to one of the best quarterbacks in the league to one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Who else has the dumb luck to have a guy walk in from, I almost said the F word, Dunkin' Donuts and ball out and play an MVP level performance? Not nobody else but the Birmingham Stallions. That's their case for Skip Holtz. I don't hate it. But man, 3 days notice taking over the squad, going against the 3-time defending champion Stallions, almost a double-digit underdog at home, and put a whooping on them. They were underdogs in this game, put a whooping on the Panthers. Had to go into what was supposed to be the most hostile home environment in all of the UFL, a St. Louis Battlehawks playoff game, the league's wet dream for all these years. It finally happened, and they put a whooping on them. His top 5, his Hall of Fame level overall defensive coordinator, halfway through the season, defense fell apart. They all came and brought it together, still won the championship. Shannon Harris is your UFL Coach of the Year. He is the champion head coach, the head coach of the UFL champion, DC Defenders. I'm with it. Our guy, Fred Keiss, also coordinator of the year, also well-deserved. That guy always has the bag of tricks. Had a few in this game. Didn't need that many. Tay, thoughts on the game? Thoughts on Coach of the Year? Thoughts on all of this?
I'll start off with Coach of the Year. Yeah, I feel like they got it right with the Coach of the Year. You know, especially, you know, at the beginning of the season, losing our coach and coordinator. You know, that's hard to overcome. Like, you got to factor in everything. You know, you got to factor in adversity. And then we beat every team. In the regular season, we beat everyone, you know, underdogs on multiple occasions. We were counted out all season long, and we overcame everything, you know, and won the championship. So I do think they got the Coach of the Year correct. And talk about the championship game, that was perfect football. That was perfect football, you know. No interceptions. Everyone played their part, from the trenches to the special teams to the coaching staff. Everyone played their best game, and that's what you have to do for the championship game. You know, Jordan Tiama, you know, he just best game of the season by far from any quarterback. You know, that's exactly what you want.
I mean, that was one of the best games in modern spring football history.
Yeah, that was
this season.
That was perfect. Like, he played excellent. He was making his case for the MVP. You know, that's my MVP. That's all I gotta say. That's my MVP. Deion Jackson, he was a great addition from day one. You know, just him getting his 50 yards a game, He's been an incredible addition all year. Abram Smith had a great game as well. We weren't really using him towards the end of the year, but hey, throw him in there. Got himself 60 yards on the ground. Ty Scott came back. He caught a 70 plus yard pass. Chris Rowland had a great year. He stepped up. We just everything just clicked. The defense second half of the year completely fell off, but come playoff time, we figured it out. And that's what you want. That's what we were hoping for. But yeah, you just can't ask for a better performance. I mean, they deserve this. Everyone should be happy with the season. And I'm proud to say it. Defenders are champions. Panthers, they had a great season as well, though. I don't want to just go over them, but they had a great season. Like that, they scored 34. They wanted to win too, but they just could not stop the Defenders' offense at all. Especially in that second quarter. So
gashes, gaping holes.
Yeah, scored 31 in that second quarter. So I mean, the Panthers wanted it too, but you playing a team hungry, playing their best game of the season, you're not gonna really beat them, and that showed. 58 points is a lot. You can't lose scoring 58. I don't think that's insane. I don't think I've seen that before in football. So I have a little bit, but it's rare. It's rare. You score 58, you're gonna win that game. So again, shout out to the Defenders getting it done. Well deserved, man. No one saw this coming. We believe, though. No one saw this coming. No one even had Defenders in the playoffs. I remember at the beginning of the season, Defenders were like power ranking. They were like 7th or 6th or something. Not even projected for the playoffs. So, and I didn't agree with that. And here you go. Got it done.
So a little bit of retrospect on the season. You brought up a bunch of points there that I wanted to go back and things I wanted to highlight. Our guy Deion Jackson, man, what an addition. We were excited about him in the preseason. He completely came along and proved us right. And I think that guy had way more in the tank even than what he showed. I don't think he ever got above 20 carries in a game. Mm-hmm. I think if he's back next year, it's a star role. A cool thing to see in this game, though, Abram Smith coming out of DC Defender Christmas past to have his best game of the season in this game. He wasn't too needed because Jordan Tiamu was going absolutely bananas, but Abram Smith, awesome to see him finish off this season. Who knows what the future holds there. Kind of seeded the job a little bit this year. Maybe it was just recovery from the knee. Maybe he'll be back next year. But that was awesome to see him pop off on defense. It was all of our guys who we talked about from the very beginning. Momo Sanogo, Malik Fisher, Derek Roberson, all of them making huge plays throughout the game. Chris Hines. It was a beautiful thing to watch, coming up with stops, coming up with big plays, huge, big stops, especially in the first half, setting the tone for the rest of the game. I loved what I saw out of those guys. When you're talking about retrospect, Jordan Tiamu at the beginning of this season, the first 3 games, we were pretty darn concerned on this show. We're talking about how, and you know what? And this might be a situation where maybe it's because it's the preseason, the training camp it's a little bit short. Maybe he just needed time to get in sync, because at the beginning of the season, he was below 50%, and he was missing wide open receivers with perfect pass protection. They were winning in spite of him. And then a couple of things changed in the middle of the season. Tiamu finds his rhythm, settles in, whatever term you want to call it. He gets above, and that's what I said. You will remember that's what I said. I said, what I need you to see out of him is get it above 50%. Stop missing wide open receivers with perfect pass protection. Well, he damn sure was there this weekend. 75%, and was throwing strikes to perfectly wide open receivers who are gashing that zone. It all changed. The things that I asked, I said, hey, man, this is what we need, or we're in trouble. All of those things happened. Whether it was because of a short preseason, it just took time to get in sync. Because remember, we talked about that. I believe it was week 3 where we were just so exasperated because we're like, this stuff has to be working in practice, because They keep calling it, and it keeps working in the games, and it just keeps not completing it. And I don't know what's happening. That must have been a part of it. It must have been working in the practices, and it just took a while to get in sync in the games. He damn sure did. Arguably, like you said, your MVP, I think a lot of people feel that way throughout the back half of the season. Completely, and we conversed a lot with the old hosts, Webb and Alex. And he even did better than what they were saying. Like, he needs the running game. He needs the RPO. He did down the stretch. Not even the running game was working. It was just Jordan Tiamu, the team on his back, being a badass. The running game wasn't even that big of a factor going down the road. I mean, it was working, but it wasn't like we were having games where it was like 30 carries and all of his passing yardage is off RPO and it's off play action. Nah, he was just balling, especially at the last 5 games, including the playoffs. So maybe they need a longer training camp. Maybe they need a longer practice situation, because once he got settled in, hey, I just got approved for another loan, everybody. It's crazy. More tax relief. Somebody just called me on my phone to tell me that. 6 of these a day. Do something. You have my vote. Whoever does it, we're the DC show. Everybody in DC, I will vote for you 10 times fraudulently for president if you could get these people to stop calling me on my phone every single day. Anyways, Jordan Tiamu was making phone calls, was dialing it up this weekend, scored touchdowns, ran in a 2-point conversion, ran in a touchdown. The season began rough, but he settled in whatever it was that finally started clicking, whether it's a short preseason, whatever it was. Got that completion percentage up over 50%, started nailing pretty much all of his open passes, no problem. He is the man. Best quarterback in the league. I wonder if he's going to be back next year.
That'd be great.
I guess that's the next thing we're talking about here. Coach Harris, questions there, because it seemed like it was assumed that he was going to Virginia State with his coach, with Reggie Barlow. But then recently, what was being said on the broadcast and what was even said by Shannon Harris in the post-game interview made it sound like maybe there were some questions about that. I very much hope and pray Coach Harris is back next year. He did an amazing job. You always want to have the coach of the year back. Feelings on that particular thing maybe happening, and what? I guess we'll do that next. Questions about who would we like to see? What would we like to see if Coach Harris is not back? Because Kais is supposed to be moving on as well. So a lot of interesting changes. And of course, another question about changes is, I don't know what NFL, because Jordan Tiamu's been to the NFL a couple of times and been back. I don't know if NFL teams feel like they've seen what he has to offer them, and maybe they're not going to be interested in extending an invite. Because to me, after what he did these last 5 weeks, and especially what he did in the championship game, I don't understand why he's not one of the first 20 guys signed to a roster, if he was going to be signed to a roster. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but also Bryce Perkins isn't signed to a roster, and we all assumed that was automatic. So, yeah. Thoughts on Coach Harris? Thoughts on a potential new coach?
I would be down for a new coach. We didn't expect to have Coach Harris as our head coach at the beginning of the season, and you see how that worked out. And I just think this the roster. Like, we got such a great group of guys. Hopefully, it's like this next year. We got such a great group of coachable guys. We could just bring in whoever we feel is right. I mean, I trust it because especially what we went through, we lost 2 coaches, one right before the season, one during the season, So I mean, I trust it. We got the roster. We bring most guys back. I think we got some coachable guys. So whoever we decide, we'll do well. We'll do well. And if it's Coach Harris, we're gonna go back to the playoffs. But yeah, I'm confident, especially with the roster makes me confident on whoever. It'll be easy for the coach, just how the amount of talent we have. Like, if we just look at the receiver room, and injuries, guys stepping up, and you couldn't even tell. You know, he had injuries there. So just we got some coachable guys. So whoever we decide, it'll be good. It'll you know, we'll go to the playoffs again next year.
As far as the coach, you know, and I guess this kind of goes with Tiamu. If we do bring in a new coach, I hope it's solely focused on who can get the most out of potentially Jordan Tiamu, who can get the most out of Mike D'Alello, if that's what ends up happening. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the possibility of Jordan Tiamu in the NFL, or do you think he'll be back?
Well, I mean, he could be in the NFL. I don't see why not. I mean, you look at Adrian Martinez. I follow him on Instagram. He's still in the Jets. You know, he's posting pictures. He's still in. I think there's a spot for everyone. Now, I'm not gonna say a spot for everyone, but you can find something to do in the NFL, whether that's practice squad, third string, backup, whatever. So he should get a look at least. There's no way. There's no way he doesn't, you know, like, especially how hungry the NFL is for quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's just no way that he's not the third best quarterback on at least
exactly
the league. Yeah. There's just no way.
Exactly. Just give it about like the beginning of July. We'll see. If he's not signed by then yeah, I don't know. But I'll say give it a week. You know, they might.
You know, Tiamu, if you run the ball, you give him one read, you let him use his legs to roll out, he can do that at least in the NFL. So, and there's plenty of guys in the NFL who can't. So,
right, exactly. We should see him in some preseason football. I do believe that, but hopefully it happens, man.
Well, this has been a tremendously beautiful season here on DC Defender Show. We show up, good things happen. I'm just saying. And, you know, I feel bad. My boys, Alex and Webb, they had to suffer through last year, and then we come strolling in and get handed the keys to a Ferrari and win the championship. It was a beautiful thing. We hope that we were informative for you guys all season. We hope that, you know, we helped get you familiar with the names you needed to know and reviewed some of the stuff that happened in the games that made watching the games more enjoyable for you throughout the season, because ultimately that's what we're here for, to enhance your experience as watching the DC Defenders, enjoying the DC Defenders. We enjoyed so much bringing it to you. Super thankful to the United Football Media for trusting the two of us to, you know, cover a team individually outside of course, the recap show. Tell me about it. And it's been an awesome time. We super excited to be back one more time. You know, throughout the year we've talked about it. Our home sports page is DAR Sports Media. Put it up there in the YouTube channel, DAR Sports Media. Look for us. We cover the NFL. We cover college football. We cover combat sports. We cover basketball. We cover a little bit of pop culture, video games, music. Check us out. Throw us a sub over there if you like what we're doing. Be advised, there is cussing when I'm like, oh, I almost said the F word. No, I just say it on that show. So be ready for that. And I say it plenty. So be ready for that. Check us out over there. Thank you again for giving us your time, giving us your views wherever you listen to this show. If you watch it on the big screen at dinner, if you listen to it in your car on going to and fro to work, we appreciate you making us a part of your life. We hope it's been an awesome season. DC Defenders, United Football League champions. This right here has been the DC Defenders Show on United Football Media.